Okay, so if you're going to do this job and you don't do it in the same day and it rains in it, well, that you try to dry things up as much as possible. I just took off one side of the battery. Okay, so the first step when we're taking off all this air breather is this sensor here. So I just lift back the tab and pull it out.
By removing these 4 clips on each corner, we can lift the plastic cover and remove the air filter. Then proceed to the next step.
I'll pull that out. Turn these little plastic locking tabs. 1, 2, 3. Difficult place. This one I was able to slip my hands. The guy told me this goes out like this. You push it sideways and it slips right out. If you know how it works, it's actually handy. Well, let's put number 1 on that. Okay. So that's 1. And you see how that unclips up there. by pulling up on this. I'll put a 3 on that one. Over here. Oh, he said that. Push that one to pull it out. Yeah, just by pushing in. So you can see all 1, 2, 3 clips. How they came off was you have to squeeze them. You have to squeeze them. If you notice as I squeeze them, the hook parts on top and bottom open up. This was a real pain. You know, I managed to get it by using 2 screwdrivers, one on each side, but if you can, you know, by squeezing, my fingers, I don't know if they're not strong enough, and pulling back. Same as this one, and the third one here that, you know, the real only way is somewhat with these pliers here, that you can grab them and squeeze them, but you know, I don't know how much you'll fight with that. Now when I took it out, I did not take right away the electrical harness, which is held on by these 2 screws underneath. The best thing is, before you even attempt this, take those 2 screws out. Don't wait. So here they are. There's one. And that's a torque. They're both torques. So there they are, and here's that harness that I was talking about. E10 torque. Or, yeah, is that a torque? Yeah. I'm gonna go under here. If you can see. Right under the starter.
Yeah, I can see.
Just to show you how I pulled it out, that I'm going to reconnect. It was in here, and there's this little tab. Now the easiest way to do this, I think, was to pull the bolt right out first, bring the wire to you, and lift back on this tab with either a little knife or a screwdriver, and just lift it up as you pull them apart and take it out. Much easier to do when the unit's closer to your hands than when you're trying to fiddle underneath that starter. And then the old O-ring. I just got myself a little hook. Let me get this old O-ring out here. So we took out the old sensor. Here's the new one that we purchased. The crankshaft sensor. And that's a new one. The old bolt that we removed that has a blue head. So they say they're aluminum, so they must be replaced after taken out. This is the new part that I purchased at BMW that has a different torque head and a different size all head, but the threads are exactly the same. So we're going to proceed in putting that back in. The torque on that, I asked, it's supposed to be 10 Newton meters, which is about 88 inch-pounds or 7.3 foot-pounds of torque. So I got my special little torque wrench here. The size is, on this new bolt, is E8 torque. And I have my new O-ring. That'll fit on. So we'll go down to the car and try to see what we can do. Okay. So, if you're able to take this crankshaft positioning sensor out, which we see down underneath the starter, well, pretty much you would be able to take out your starter by 2 torque bolts, one here and one coming from the other direction back here. But if you're able to get to this point, you'll have no problem taking the starter out. I'm going to take the new one. I think I'm going to put a little lubricant on the O-ring. I just put a little bit of oil. I just put a little oil on it, that motor oil, and I lubricated it, that O-ring, so it should slip in easy enough. I'm just gonna go put that right back in. Put the O-ring first and see. There we go. Let's pop right in. Then I'm lined up before I put my bolt in. I look to be pretty fair. Now I'm gonna get that new bolt in. Here's our new bolt. Let's see, V8 torque. That's just hand tight. I'm going to take my torque wrench. I've got it set at about 88 inch-pounds. A little torque here. They say 88, but I don't know. I feel that's too much and it's gonna break. Here's 70. There's 70. I torqued it at 70 inch-pounds. So, being happy with that, that's where I'm gonna stop with that. So I'm gonna proceed in putting it back in. Okay, so I got it started. I'm just going to push it right in. Now I want to make sure it's in. That's it. We got it back in. Now we're going to work our way back. I got myself some carburetor cleaner, some gun carburetor cleaner. Ethanol free. I guess this one's not as harsh for injectors. I just want to clean around the intake to get a little bit of that crap off. Now, whatever you do, make sure you don't leave any of that stuff in your intakes. Now, I pushed it in, but I want to just pull them right back out a little bit. So here's our intake. I'm going to just spray a little bit of this cleaner here. On that. I'm gonna wipe it off. a second. I left my bolts and nuts in, so I'm going to take them out. So there they are. 4 bolts, 3 nuts on our intake. Now here might be a little bit of mishmash where you pass these wires, so we'll be careful. You know, they'll come up around here. So I'm gonna wipe these off. So now, I bought new gaskets. Bought new gaskets, so I'm gonna take the old ones out. But I think I noticed little spots here that hold the gasket in place, so I'm going to try one at a time. So these, I don't know, you can purchase them anywhere. I went right to BMW and got them. Pretty simple. Wrong place. So that harness here, we'll fix it up after. So let me see if I can get this in somehow. I'm going to take some of these screws off that I put in. Now we'll make sure you look down those ports, make sure nothing's left in there. I want to take a peek down those ports, can you see? Yeah. They're all clean? Okay, so we'll look down inside. You can see those valves. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do here. I'm trying to wiggle this in. Here's where all the cursing and swearing starts. And you want to get this fuel line in on top. There we go. Try to get some of these harnesses in. You want to be able to get those in. The one's back here. And the ones are shown before. Oh, there's one in. And there's the second. These lines here came up through here. third one there. That third one that goes in here. Okay, it's up in here. Okay, so that third one is right in here. This is the one, I don't know if you can see there.
Yeah.
But this is the one, put it in. I was going to say, put it in, it's not too hard, but, oh, there we go. Not as hard as taking it out.
Yeah.
And our wire here that we proceeded to take it out. So all these steps is exactly, you know, these are some of your last steps as you're taking it off. Maybe as I undid it, I don't know if you can see that wire here.
Yeah.
There we go. Then our gaskets are still in the right place. I'm going to try to wiggle it some more.
Okay.
I'm having trouble putting it in. There's missing some room. Maybe this little switch here. I removed it. Not exactly sure, but sure it'll give us more room. Maybe I should have took it off before I even started, but look, here's where we are now. Hoping that gives us more room. Let's bring that fuel line back in. Oh, there you're in. Don't know what to say. Just one hell of a job to get in or get out. Okay, let's get the bolts started. And the nuts. That harness is underneath here. Okay, so now we managed to get that harness bolted underneath and then try to wiggle this thing in. It's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart or whatever. It's just not easy. So now I'm tightening down the intake. So I'm just going in a sequence here from the center out. So I went over tighten these. It's only plastic and there's rubber O-rings. Well, I think like the other one, it's probably 10 Newton meters, but I'm going to put it at 70 inch pounds. That sensor that I took off before, to give us a little more room, I'm going to put it right back with the 2 screws. Now we're gonna put the fuel lines. Okay, so we'll put this harness back underneath here. Number 4. It's right here. It's that one right here. There it goes. And what else? What else? These boots here can go back on. There's one. Onto this sensor over here. Very good back there. We have these were just holding brackets. Now, this one here, we remember how we put it out, just put that metal clip here. And that goes on like this. There we go. And this here clips in here. In reverse was that air box, and that was actually just 2 rubbers that just snapped right in, with the 2 rubbers being inside the air box. This part here will fit. I'll get that back on here. Okay, so we're going to put the air box in. Won't be too bad. I'm just going to line that right up there. And here we go, we'll put our last wire in. Probably the first one that I took off. Now, put air filter back in. Won't hurt to buy a new one. So that's fine. Clip that all back. Okay, so we'll put the air box back in. Yeah, it goes in with a little tab up. You can see the hole for that little tab right here. It locks right in the center. Okay, and then we just lock our little, push down and turn these little plastic locking tabs. 1, 2, free. Locking little tab. Put the second one in. Locking little tab. It's back together. Just have to reconnect the battery and we'll see what happens. I just took off one side of the battery and I just put it back on. When you disconnect the battery, odd, the back hatch locks. And the other doors, to lock them, but you need the key to lock the driver's side, but the rest you can just push down.